I don't really have any hooks to grab your attention with. This is a pretty chill, laid-back video where I spend half a minute talking to you guys. How are you? How are you doing? I hope life has been treating you well, and if you're not doing well, there's always tomorrow. Today, we have so many Reddit stories that keep getting crazier and crazier. I have no idea how long this video is gonna be, but I will keep reading and reacting to these stories until I get physically fatigued. I have a jug of 2 liters of water right next to me. I plan to consume all of it in this video. If you enjoy watching and want more of these sleep compilations to sleep to, consider supporting the channel. It will mean a lot to me. I will make these videos for as long as I possibly can. Let's start. I36M saw videos of my fiancée, 33F, cheating during her bachelorette party. I can't believe I'm involved in a story like this. I haven't actually talked to anyone about what happened, even though a lot of people are trying. I think I just need to vent a little bit before I talk to anyone. My girlfriend and I were together for 4 years, and we were engaged to be married. Last weekend, she had her bachelorette party. I didn't have a problem with it, especially after what she told me was the plan. Her and some friends were going to rent an Airbnb or something. A big place with like 4 bedrooms. They were just going to get trashed and party and hang out. The day of the party, she was at my place. A 2-bedroom apartment. 1 room I use as a home office. I'm a self-employed investor. She makes all of the arrangement and goes to meet her friends. We texted a little bit, but as the party warmed up, she stopped texting, and I figured they were just having fun. After midnight, I started getting ready for bed and noticed that the computer in my office is not turned off. Rather, the black screen was just a screensaver. It turns out, fiancé had not logged out, and her messenger was still open on the computer. There was a group chat where her and the girls had been planning everything, and a lot of videos were uploaded to the chat. I was a little curious, to be honest, and I started watching some of the videos. Most of them were pretty innocent, just a group of 15 girls getting drunk and stoned and dancing and whatever. Then there was a video of a woman going to the front door and about 10 guys entering the apartment. I don't know who they are, and I don't recognize anyone. I didn't recognize anyone. There were a couple of videos of the guys and girls dancing and drinking, and then the worst thing happened. A video started of my fiancée making out with the guy on the sofa. She stops, rolls over, and starts making out with the second guy. Then there was a video of her and 2 guys going into a bedroom. There was also a video of them coming out that, according to the timestamps, was 5 minutes later. But that doesn't mean anything. For all I know, the videos were an hour apart, and they were just uploaded at the same time. Seeing all this was like a sledgehammer to the guts. I walked into the bathroom because I thought I would be sick. I wasn't. But I feel like I paced back and forth in the apartment for about 30 minutes. Then I poured myself a rocks glass full of whiskey and chugged it down. I saved the videos and then made one of my own. Just a short little selfie video of me saying, "Hi, this is your ex-fiancé. Just wanted to say I saw the videos from the party and the wedding is off. I hope it was worth it." That was it. I'm glad I saved the videos because in less than 10 minutes they were all deleted and my phone started blowing up. But I didn't answer any calls or texts. At first, it was just my girlfriend texting, saying she can explain and it's not what it looked like. Then her friends joined in, but I ignored everyone and didn't respond. Then suddenly, I got a request for a video chat. And I'll admit, my curiosity got the better of me. I answered the call, but didn't say anything. It was my fiance, sitting in front of the camera, and she looked like she had been crying, and the other friends just around her. I really only know maybe 4 of the friends, but I recognize a lot of the others. First, she started apologizing, but kept saying it wasn't what it looked like. It was just a party, and the guys coming over was not planned or anything. She said it might have looked bad, but nothing happened. When I didn't say anything, she just kept going on with more of the same, and her friends backed her up. The more I didn't speak, the more hysterical she got. Eventually, she admitted to kissing 2 guys, but dumped the blame on her friends, who all took responsibility for that, which surprised me a little. She said the kisses didn't mean anything, and that's all that happened. Then she seemed to remember the video of her going into the bedroom, and she started screaming that it was just a joke and nothing happened. All the other women confirmed it was just a joke and that my fiancé had walked into the room and then turned around and walked out again. Fuck no. That was not a joke. None of that happened. God, I'm thirsty. This just kept going on, and they just kept repeating themselves. Eventually, everyone got quiet, and all I said was, "Is there anything else to add?" She said no, and I ended the call immediately. I went onto social media and changed my relationship status to single and posted that the wedding was off, and if anyone had bought a present, they should feel free to return it. Fiancé saw the post and is freaking out even more, and just keeps insisting that all she did was kiss, nothing else. I sent her a text saying if I suspect that her or any of her friends lie about what happened, or try to make me the bad guy, then I will post all the videos online. Right now, no one else knows what is happening. This was a couple of days ago, and everything for the wedding is cancelled. My fiancé just keeps pursuing me. Any advice on what I should do from here? Update. Everything has been called off and cancelled. The wedding is officially not happening. I got the ring back, and all of her stuff is moved out. She's staying with her parents for now. We did talk a little bit. It was mostly just her begging and apologizing and crying. She keeps insisting that all she did was kiss the guys, and she has never done anything like this before. And she promises it will never happen again. Part of me really wanted to believe her, but the problem is that this incident puts our entire relationship in doubt. I think she may be telling the truth, but again, the point is there is no way to know. If it is true that her friends pressured her to do it, then how can I believe they never did it before? Good point. We kept going around in circles because ultimately there is just no way I can be sure. She said she would do anything, including cutting off her friends, and only ever drink around me. She really blasted her friends online, saying if the party had stuck to the original plan, she would still be getting married, so maybe she already cut them off. All I can say is that at the moment, I'm single. I'm just going to live my life, probably take some time myself after getting out of a 4-year relationship. What's crazy is that a couple of her friends are also texting me just to talk. I haven't responded yet because it's hard to trust them. Thanks again to everyone who expressed sympathy, and I hope none of you here need to deal with anything like this in the future. All right. So many things going on. Well, let's start with the obvious here. This is what I think. I think this is probably the best thing that you could have done. I genuinely think you dodged a bullet. Because here's the thing about cheating that a lot of people seem to not understand. Cheating breaks trust permanently. There is no way in hell you can get the trust back in that partner. Whether it's a man or a woman, it doesn't really make a difference here. The second thing about cheating, and which is also something that a lot of people seem to disregard, when people cheat, they don't do it in the heat of the moment. No. They usually have been thinking about it. They have been contemplating it. It's not something they do in a momentary lapse of judgment moment. No. They have been thinking about it. And this whole bachelorette party thing, I know that it's like a typical thing to invite some guys for dancing and stuff like that. And she knew it was going to happen. And she's telling you that nothing happened in that room and it was just a joke. A joke for whom, for heaven's sake? And if it was a joke, why the hell would they record it? Ah, man, life is getting crazier these days. Second story. My girlfriend and I, you know what? I have like a gazillion stories coming up. If I use the same accent, same enunciation, it's just gonna get boring for you. I know this is a sleep video and most of you are not really watching gameplay, so I have to do some audio change. My girlfriend and I have never had sex, and it's been almost 5 years. Am I the a-hole? Yes, I mean never. I, 27M, my girlfriend, 26F, have been together for almost 5 years. When the relationship started, I assumed she was being flirty and building the temptation. We were having so much fun, going on dates, and I was just excited for the time to come. And it still hasn't come. I've tried to talk to her, I've brought this up 100 times. Every time I gently start the conversation, she starts crying. And she says she feels guilty and she gets angry at me for always bringing it up. At the start, she said she has vaginismus. She has seen a specialist about this once because I asked her to, and has the tools for exercises that they use to fix it. So, I don't want this to be like a medical video, but sometimes I have to. What is vaginismus? Vaginismus, if I remember it correctly, is a psychological effect that basically causes physiological effect, where the pelvic floor muscles, they contract so powerfully, so strongly. I don't think that's the right word, strongly. It is a right word. That intercourse becomes extremely painful for both parties. Obviously more painful for the woman. Is it treatable? Yes, it is treatable. Usually there are some kits that are sold to exercise basically so that the severity of vaginismus becomes less intense and normal intercourse can be conducted. She has the tools to exercise that they use to fix it. They have been sitting in her bedside drawer ever since. I'm not blaming her for having vaginismus, and I'm sure it is horrible. But sitting here for 5 years waiting does not feel fair. The last time I brought it up, she said she has never had the drive to have sex, and it's not something she has ever wanted. But it's something that I want. I've asked her to go to the doctor to get her hormone level checked, which she did. She went off birth control about 3 months ago, and absolutely nothing has changed. This makes it hard for me, though, because it seems like she's starting to put in some kind of effort. She's beautiful and smart. She has a good job. We live together, and her family love me. We do everything together, and I miss her when she's not around. I just don't know if I can live like this. I've already spent 5 years of my 20s in a sexless relationship. I have been hoping that she would just have some sort of awakening or breakthrough and become a sexual person. She has recently been bringing up engagements, feeling annoyed that her friends who have been together for less time than us are getting engaged, and I haven't asked her yet. I can't see myself proposing and trapping myself in a life where I never have sex again. Am I the asshole for building resentment toward her and expecting her to change after all this time? What do I do? What do you do? Okay. From what I can tell from this story, your girlfriend, did you say your fiance? No, that was the first story. Your girlfriend is more than likely an asexual person. And that could be something that is affecting her regardless of her hormones. I'm not really certain if you said the result of the hormonal check was out or have you reached any conclusion. You didn't say anything about it. But I would say the first thing to do is actually to check hormones. So what gives women libido, generally speaking? Testosterone does. Testosterone, for the most part, like small amounts of testosterone, obviously, make women have libido. Even the tiniest fluctuations, the tiniest drop in testosterone could cause asexual-like behavior. I'm not saying this is the reason, but it could be the reason. If it's not the reason, then she is just genuinely asexual and has no interest in having sexual intercourse, either for you or, usually with anyone. What do you do? Honestly, I don't really know. Yeah, I have no shame in saying I don't know. If I was reading a couple of lines of this story, I would tell you that you should probably find someone who is sexual. Because if you are sexual and she's asexual, you're not compatible. If you both got together and married, you will both do more harm in your relationship than benefit or than good. So I don't really know what to do. Earlier I told you that she should check her hormones, make sure that everything is perfect or everything is within normal range. But eventually, if everything was within normal range, then it's really up to you if you want to make this, if you want to have a serious conversation with her or not. But in general, I don't really know what to do. Next story. My husband wants me to sleep with other men. Oh boy. My husband and I have been married for 14 years, but have known each other since I was 7 and he was 9. We were neighbors, and his family lived just a few blocks away from mine. We were the best of friends growing up and started dating when I was 13 and he was 15, but broke up when he left for college at 18. During that time, he has had the whole college experience, while I focused more on my education and career. So I never really dated anyone. We reconnected when we were 22 and 24 respectively, and have been together ever since. But what is your age now? That's something you didn't mention. Okay, maybe it's mentioned later on. Needless to say, he was more than surprised that I was never with anyone in the 7 years we were apart. It just never felt right. Now I know he's been with several women before, but it never really bothered me. I've pretty much indulged every sexual fantasy he's ever had, as long as he promised that sex was just for us. I told him that all I wanted was a committed and monogamous relationship with him, and it's been that way ever since. About a month ago, he dropped a bomb. I've always encouraged him to be open and honest with me about anything, but it was still a shocker. Apparently, he's always had this fantasy about me sleeping with other guys while he watches. The very thought of this made me violently ill, and I told him that I would never, ever do that under any circumstance. He tried to argue for a bit, but he dropped it, or so I thought. We own several small businesses together, but I have since taken a step back after we had kids. I still help out with management every now and then, though. A few days after the encounter, I came by the office to have lunch with him and help with some paperwork, and I have noticed that some of the staff, especially the younger guys, started acting all flirty with me, which I found very inappropriate. I told my husband, but he just shrugged it and smiled, saying it was normal because I was attractive. Even when he had a few of his buddy over to watch basketball, one of his friends openly flirted with me in the kitchen while I prepared their snacks. Again, I told my husband, but he just shrugged it off. He never really brought up the fantasy of his directly, but since then, he's been casually mentioning how good looking this person is. Or that person is almost as if he's trying to set me up with them. God damn. Every time I call him out on it, he just says he's not doing anything wrong and that he's just talking. I am at the end of my rope. I've always found pride in the fact that I've only ever been with one man. It's always been special to me and he knows this, but it doesn't seem like he respects that at all. I've always been devoted to him since we were kids, but he doesn't seem to value my commitment and loyalty at all. Every time I try talking to him about it, he says he's already dropped it, yet. I always have this gut feeling that the people flirting with me were doing it with his encouragement. Before that, everyone knew how devoted I was. What should I do? I definitely don't want to divorce because I do love him with all my heart. But this whole thing has been driving me crazy. Any advice? Update. 1 month later. So it's been a month since I posted and a lot has happened. A lot has happened since. So I figured I would update you guys with the things that somewhat settled in a way. Here's what happened. A few days after I posted, my husband had his friends over again. As I was making their sandwiches, one of his friends came up behind me and grabbed my waist and started calling me beautiful and sexy. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my previous post, but I don't like being touched by others unless I'm close to them. Instinctively, I stabbed him with a butter knife. And while it was dull, I did hit him hard enough to draw a bit of blood. His friend started cursing at me, and my husband, who rushed in the room after he heard me scream, his friend kept saying, "You said it was okay," over and over and over. I'm not exactly sure what happened next, because after I slapped my husband, I walked right out of the kitchen and locked myself in our room. I have never felt so unloved and disrespected in my entire life. Our kids were at my mother-in-law's house. I didn't leave there till the next morning and found my husband sleeping on the couch, smelling of booze. After he sobered up, we talked. It was long, but to summarize the whole thing, apparently a few of his buddies were into wife swapping and sharing them with other men. Swinging is what he called it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you remember it correctly. One just liked sharing his wife with other men. They talked a lot about their sexual adventures, and my husband said he got jealous and it made him miss his promiscuous past, and he started fantasizing about it. I reminded him of my boundaries, and he said he was so caught up in the fantasy, he didn't think anything else mattered. He said that night was a wake-up call, and for the first time he was genuinely afraid of losing me. I know he's not lying. I've known him for over 3 decades. 3 decades, 13 years, so probably mid-40s, okay. I told him how disrespected I felt the last few weeks where people in his life would flirt with me. I told him how miserable it made me feel, that he wasn't taking my commitment to him seriously. I told him that as much as I loved him, the sight of him makes me boiling with rage. He said he understands, but that he will do anything to make it up to me. To make things clear, I'm not mad because of his fantasies. I'm mad at the disrespect he has shown me since his confession, and he has acknowledged this. Too long, didn't read. We are currently separated. I just couldn't stand living with him in this moment in time. The kids and I moved out and are now living in his sister's guest house. It's great here, and the kids love being around their cousins and my mother-in-law, who has been living in the guest house since before we moved in. His sister knows the story and is on my side, and his mother just knows that he messed up. I am in low contact with my husband now. He is in therapy, which is good for him. I'm also in therapy to help deal with what's going on. He has told me that he cut all contact with his circle of friends in the few times I went to the office to drop the kids off to him, no one flirted with me. I still love my husband, so reconciliation is definitely on the table. Is there reconciliation? I don't feel that's a butchered up. Reconciliation? Fuck that. It's definitely on the table, and neither one of us has brought up divorce yet. He knows what he needs to do and what he needs to work on. And kicking his friends out was a good start. After some time, he will do marriage counseling, but only after I've seen him put in the work. He knows he has to win me back and never take me for granted again. I'm hopeful for our family to be together again and that I can get my old loving husband back. But at the moment, I'm just trying to hold it together for my kids. This sounded more like a rant, but it's rather cathartic. Thanks for the advice in my last post. I appreciate every single one of them. Few points I would like to mention. Number one, I didn't force him to cut off his friends. It was something I would have brought up once. What? I don't know what that is. Point number two, I'm pretty sure my husband never slept with any of their wives. I don't doubt he wanted to, though. He simply never had the time nor the means to do so. Most of the time, him and his friends hang out at our place. All of his time in the business is accounted for, so he never comes home late, nor is he secretive of his phone. I swear up and down that he never slept with anyone else, and I have known him well enough to know he isn't lying. Reconciliation is something that is not guaranteed. He'll have to show me he's changed, or rather he's found his old self again. He will have to sweep me off my feet again, and I definitely don't want to make things easy for him. It's not something that will happen overnight though, and I still haven't forgiven him yet. It's like I love him and hate him at the same time, if that makes sense. Point number four, we won't be seeing other people. God, I'm thirsty. Hold on a second here. There's a point you brought up. Point number two. You said, I'm pretty sure my husband never slept with any of their wives. I have my doubts on this point, not gonna lie to you. Because for someone to basically treat his wife like she's an inanimate object, and that she doesn't have boundaries, and that guys, young guys, in this place of work that both of you share, can just touch you, or his friends can touch you and grab you. They didn't do this because, you know, out of their own mind or own volition. No, they did it because he told them to do it. He told them to get physical. He told them that, you know, you're okay with it. And you also said that when you struck that guy with the butter knife, he said, you told me she was okay with it. So, honestly, I have no idea. You've obviously known him for 3 decades, like you said, so I'm not saying that what you know is the truth, because oftentimes our emotions make us believe things that are not true. I've been in that position before. I've been in the position where my emotions are telling me something. My brain knows it. My brain knows that whatever I'm doing is wrong and it's not going to work. But my emotions say, my heart, basically, my heart is saying, I'm going to do it. My brain knows it's not going to happen. So emotions, they're very dangerous and they really cloud your judgment. Last thing I have to say, I hope you have a great life. I hope things will go right. You seem like a good woman. You've been devoted for him. basically in the prime of your life, where he had the full college experience and not all the, what do you call it, the debaucheries or the fetishes that he has in his college years. So you're a good woman. I hope life will be better for you. That's it. Next story. Am I wrong? So I, 39M, had dinner plans with my girlfriend, 37F. We've been living together for 2 years. Been talking for 8 years beforehand. When I get home from work, as I pulled up, I noticed her car was not there. No biggie. Thought she might have ran to the store right quick to get something. So I waited a bit. And then I asked her son if he spoke to her recently. He told me before walking home he had called her about 10 minutes before I got home to ask if he could use her Cash App card. I decided to give her a ring, which was nothing but voicemail. Text, nothing. The first call was around 8:45 p.m. It is now 6:45 a.m. the following day. She hasn't called or texted. None of her kids can reach her. Nobody knows where she is at all. I ended up filing a missing person report. Am I wrong for doing that? I had always asked her to call and let me know if she was going to change. I had always asked her to call and let me know if she was going to change our dinner date and whatnot. Update. She turned up for her shift at work. Now I'm just waiting to see if she will come home or not. Second update. Several things happened. One, she had a power issue at her store. She's a store manager and had to take care of it. That is what she said. I asked, why didn't you tell anyone? Why didn't you tell me since we had dinner plans? The other thing she tried to say was she fell asleep in her car waiting for the power to come back on. Then she said she went to her co-worker's place after the power came on, and that is where she was. Until she had to go to work the following morning, where she ended up working a double since the night manager called out. When she finally came home and we talked, she finally split the beans on what's been going on. She has been seeing someone else for some time, but didn't want to lose me since I pay half the bills. What the fuck is this shit? Man, that's crazy. That is so crazy. It basically knocked the British accent out of me. She's been seeing someone else for some time, but didn't want to lose me since I pay half the bills. Watch her kids. Yeah, so he's a credit card, a babysitter, and apparently when she wanted to go see the other guy and treat her over all very well. Long story short, she caught feelings for someone and didn't know how to handle it. Some detective work and her coming clean explained a lot of what's been going on the last few months. Last update. I moved on. She ended up trying to do some grimy shit, trying to get me to sleep with her while I was waiting for someone to call back to rent my own spot. But all is good. Got my own spot. Started connecting with other groups to get out more. Bravo. Hell yeah, brother. God, I'm so happy for you, man. God, I'm so freaking happy for you. Why do people do shit like this? Like, I've always wanted to look at people's brains, like people who do these things. Obviously, not when they're alive. But if there was a way to do it using MRI or PET scan or whatever, I just want to see how their brains function. Like, is there a part in their brains that gets activated or like if it's bigger or maybe smaller or maybe damaged? Like, she's telling you that she's seeing another guy. She's catching feelings for him. She's lying to you. She's not talking to her kids. She likes that you pay half the bills. She likes that you babysit. Like, you know, sometimes I gotta say, I don't understand people. I have to live with this. Next story. Am I the asshole for bringing up my girlfriend's past? I, 26M, have been dating my girlfriend 24F, for 2 years. Today, we were talking about eating Chick-fil-A, but the on-campus Chick-fil-A is out of grilled chicken and other food items. She has been fasting and has asked me to stop her from eating when she has hit her limit, no matter what. My girlfriend really loves grilled chicken nuggets and made an offhanded comment about quote-unquote shaking my puss for some nuggets, which didn't really sit well with me. We are both Christian and she has a past of sexual immorality and sin, which is very regretful and remorseful. Which she is very regretful and remorseful of. Her comment made me upset and brought this past of hers back to the front of my mind. After she said this, I had asked her to not say it again. And she, thinking I was joking, continued to say it. That's when I said, "Don't say that, honey. You've shaken your puss for a lot less than grilled chicken." This shocked her as she stopped talking and sat back in her seat. She began to tear up and asked me to leave. I didn't fully understand what I had said, and I still don't. Totally. I'm not sure if it's because of my autism or something else entirely, but I had just stated a fact of the matter. But now she's hurt and I don't know if I will see her again tonight. I have tried apologizing, but I don't know what to do now. Am I the asshole? I'm still here, by the way. I am still here. I don't know what to say. Honestly, the only thing that I can comment on is you saying that she has a past of sin and sexual immorality. I won't comment about sexual immorality, but I will talk about sin. Every one of us has a history or a past of sin. We're not born angels. We certainly don't die as angels. We all have sins. So for you to say that she has sins as if you were a saint, hell, even saints sin. So for you to say that is just wild. Yeah, let's move on before I say something that I regret. Next story. My 35M daughter, 15F, is pregnant. How do I tell her that our older daughter, 31F, is actually her biological mother? So me, 53M, my wife, Rose, 53F, had our older daughter, Sarah, 31F, when we were 22. We were young, broke, but managed, and now we raised Sarah the best way we could. Sarah got pregnant at 15. It was a very depressing time for her. She had to go to therapy and never told us anything about the father, which always upset her. So we never pushed the issue. She originally wanted to terminate, but kept canceling, and eventually told us she wanted to give her up for adoption. But 5 months into the pregnancy, when she was discussing with a social worker for a couple to adopt, the couple dropped out of the adoption. After trying to find more couples, Sarah asked us if we wanted to adopt. Me and Rose were both 38 at this point, and we had both been discussing having another child. So we ended up adopting our daughter, Ellie, when Sarah had her 16th birthday. 2 years later, after Ellie, me and my wife had our son, James, 13 years biologically. Growing up, we always planned on telling Ellie she was adopted, but we knew with telling her that, we had to tell her Sarah was her biological mother. Sarah never became close to Ellie, not even as sisters. She moved out after the birth and lived with Rose's sister. She has always shown sisterly love to her James, but never towards Ellie. There has always been conflicting feelings with Sarah. I have seen posts on Sarah's Instagram where she posted a picture of what was supposed to be the five of us, but Ellie was cut out. I confronted her about this and she says it is too painful. However, a couple years ago, she showed up drunk, begging us to let us see her daughter. We talked to her and let her stay, but did not let her near Ellie since she was drunk. We found out from her husband she had suffered several miscarriages and was told to consider a surrogate. She ended up doing that 4 years ago and has since had twins, Jack and Jill, 3M and 3F, who are biologically hers. Ellie has loved being an aunt to the twins, and Sarah has encouraged this with Ellie and has been inviting Ellie over her house for family time with James, who loves being an uncle, by the way. We have asked Sarah that in the light of the twins and Ellie being close to them, wouldn't it be time to tell Ellie the truth? But Sarah keeps claiming she's not ready. Recently, Ellie came to us and has told us she is pregnant. This time, it is a completely different situation. We have met the father. He is a childhood friend of hers, and they decided they wanted to lose their virginities to each other. We had the talk with Ellie long time ago. As we did with Sarah, we approached the situation calmly and have since met with the father and his parents. Ellie is insistent on keeping the baby. She is 3 months in. We have not told Sarah yet. We don't know how to approach the situation. We don't know how she will be able to take it. Me and my wife are considering telling Ellie the truth, but we need Sarah to be there. Update number 1. So I decided to write in an update as I'm still getting messages on this account. First, I want to address the main issue. I was wondering about advice on what to do after finding out about my daughter, Ellie, 15, is pregnant. But that we had the exact same situation with her older sister, Sarah, who is actually Ellie's biological mother. Well, I decided to just focus on helping out Ellie, who is 4 months pregnant. We didn't want to stress her out by telling her about the adoption yet. In fact, we know we should have already told her a long time ago. Despite Sarah's emotions on the matter, it's not like we even knew the details on Ellie's father. So that would have been Sarah's talk. But we, as Ellie's parents, adoption parents really, still should have told her the truth when she was younger. A week after I made the post, Ellie told the family about the pregnancy. She had since told my parents, her boyfriend's grandparents, and then of course she told Sarah. Sarah did not react well, but told her she would support her. Of course, Sarah reached out to us shortly after, very upset, but said she was ready to talk to Ellie. First about the adoption with us, and she said she wanted to tell Ellie about her father alone. Okay. All right. We sat down and had a discussion. Ellie was of course upset, but calmed down after a while. She of course had questions about her father. Sarah had that discussion with her. At the time, I didn't know what she was told, and it was none of our business. But Ellie told us she knows who he is, and said she didn't want to reach out. So we moved on after that. The other day, I got a call from my sister-in-law, Renee, 31F. My brother's wife. She was angry and was asking what kind of sick ideas was Sarah putting in Ellie's head. She started mentioning stuff about Ellie's adoption. So after I got her to calm down, she told me what happened. She claimed that Ellie had messaged my brother, Ethan, and told him about the adoption and wanted to talk to him. This confused me, because me and Ethan don't talk much. We were never really close because we are 21 years apart. He was my mother's late child and he always got along with mine and our sister's kids as they were all around the same age. And Ellie only saw him on the holidays, so telling him about the details in her life didn't make sense. Renee explained to me that Ellie claimed that Ethan was her father. Okay. Renee explained to me that Ellie claimed that Ethan was her father because that is what Sarah had told her, and told him that he was going to be a grandpa. I had to sit down for a while. I called Sarah and we had a long conversation. So hold on a second here. Hold on a second. I'm lost here. Ellie, 15 years old. Okay. Sarah, she's 35, 31, something like that. So Sarah is Ellie's mother. I got that. And Sarah slept with the mother's brother, which is the uncle, and she had Ellie. Okay. I called Sarah and we had a long conversation. She told me that yes, it was true. Ethan is Ellie's biological father. Sarah and Ethan were close when they were young. They were only 8 months apart. Sarah says that when they went through puberty, feelings changed, that every time she went to her grandmother's, they would hide away from everyone and have their own time. Sarah was upset talking about this, but told me that he never assaulted her and it was always consensual. She never wanted to tell me because she was ashamed of the fact that the father of her baby was her uncle. I have since talked to Ethan as well. He denied it to Ellie over text, but told me it was true. We exchanged a few words. Even if this was consensual, how could he sleep with his own niece? He had all these theories, but I wasn't hearing it. He knew of the pregnancy and being Ellie's father the whole time, and he never even bothered to step up to say anything. I have talked to Ellie about it. She says she was upset when she found out, but she always thought she looked like my stepdad's side of the family. It upset me when she mentioned that because honestly, I see it. It is obvious right now. I always knew that Ellie favored whoever her father was because she didn't look like anyone on our side. But I never suspected Ethan. My mother and stepdad have found out, and Ethan told Renee it was true. She has left with their kids to stay with her family. Ethan has tried to reach out to Ellie now, but I don't want her speaking to him. I am still her father, and I don't think she's safe being in touch with him. Ellie has shown no interest in talking. I asked her why she reached out to him before talking to Sarah or us about it, and she said she just wanted to know his side of the story, but feels betrayed for being lied to. Holy shit. What is this story about? Like, am I the a-hole? Is this a confession? What is it? I lost this. I'm lost right now. So the question was, how do I tell her that our older daughter is actually her biological mother? Didn't you tell her that? I'm not really the type of person who would make judgments about people. But there are two families I would never, ever get close to. The second one is this family, because I honestly have no idea what the hell is going on. No idea. But, you know, I just wish they have a good life. That's the best thing I can say. I don't know what this is about. Guys, please, help me out here. I'm thirsty and I'm confused. Yeah, let's move on. I hope this next story is gonna be much fucking better, because Yeah. My husband's family My husband's family has been pressuring him to contribute either financially or with time to his mother's care. I told him if he does, we are getting a divorce. Am I the a-hole? By the way, if there's a video of Adele saying divorce. I love that video. I sometimes watch it for no reason. Divorce, babe, divorce. God, I love Adele, man. I know it sounds harsh, but we just cannot afford to do so. We have 2 children. Our youngest is non-verbal. I no longer work due to our youngest. He already does so much. He cannot afford to give up time. And our budget is extremely tight. We are in the processes of downsizing, which is unfortunate, but we cannot afford to live where we are on a single income. She has no money. Their dad before he passed blew it all on his money on alternative medical treatments for his cancer, even though he smoked multiple packs of cigarettes a day and was shocked he ended up how he did. She's not doing well herself, but just like most, they have an extremely negative stigma regarding nursing homes. I know they're not the best of places, but putting your family in debt is no better. His siblings are using credit, taking out loans and stuff to provide the care, keeping her in her apartment area. She is mild to moderate stage of dementia. She knows her apartment and area well, but she only manages because my brother and sister-in-law are going heavily into debt, providing the care. They keep pushing my husband to do more. He helps how he can. He covers a portion of the rent and pays for groceries from time to time. Compared to what they do, that is not much. We are strapped ourselves. My husband wants to do Uber on the side after work and on the weekends, and I told him that is nuts. His family needs to understand that they have alternatives. They may not like it, but sooner or later, she will end up in a home. What they are doing is far from sustainable. I told my husband if he caves and gives up more money, we cannot afford going into debt ourselves, or gives up the limited time he has to be with his family to work Uber. I will have no choice but to file for divorce, and we'll have to plan accordingly. We have looked into me going back to work, but with the level of care our child needs, it is not exactly a viable option. Yeah, in this context here, you're not the a-hole. Pretty simple. No need to complicate things. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing a marriage contract that gives my spouse a percentage of my income? I'm not one to have an argument in a relationship and run to the internet for advice. But what just happened is too much for me to keep it to myself. I'm a 30-year-old man and I was dating a 27-year-old woman who lived in a neighboring town. We dated for 3 months and it was going incredibly well. We spent Christmas together. We planned a trip to Canada for next month. We had deep and agreeable conversations about our values and our future plans, etc. Then, we had a late night video call on Saturday. She had a propensity for being very anxious about the future of our relationship. While we were apart, but it was something that we were able to work through each time, and I felt like I could live with it. This time, the conversation turned to a list of non-negotiables she had written out that were mandatory for her in a relationship. She had brought this up before and I thought it was strange, but the list was pretty reasonable and it worked for her, so I didn't worry about it. Well, she decided to add another item to the list. In the event that she get married, her husband would have to sign a legal document requiring him to give her a percentage of his income. She asked me if I would do that, and I told her that I didn't think I would want to. My resistance to it turned into an argument that lasted for several days over the phone. She sent me paragraphs of explanations about how her experience working as a paralegal, her upbringing in a single-income home in the Philippines, her status as a woman, and her trauma over last relationship led her to the conclusion that she wanted guaranteed income from her spouse. She believed that she would never trust a man to want to provide for her, that she would never settle for anything less than a contract that obligates me. She would not compromise on this, and it even came down to me being given an ultimatum. I verbally agreed that I would sign the contract for now, or she would find another man who would. I know already what I'm going to say, but I have to read it to the end. Let me outline my perspective. I'm 3 months into a relationship and my partner is demanding that I agree to a bizarre, legally binding document that would affect my finances for the rest of my life. I expressed that I was not comfortable with doing that, but she wouldn't let go. So even though our relationship had been wonderful up to this point, she ends up breaking up with me over this yesterday. Yes. She accused me of trying to manipulate her into settling for something less than what she wanted. She said that I triggered her memories of our last relationship where she made excuses for her partner who didn't put in any effort, and deflected her issues when she tried to voice them to him. She felt like my failure to agree to her contract was a sign that I wouldn't consistently support her needs in the future, and that I didn't care enough about her to make her feel safe. She was adamant that what she was asking is totally reasonable. My unwillingness to accept it was unacceptable for her. Enough so that it was 100% grounds enough to end our relationship. So, am I the a-hole for not agreeing to her contract? Is there an update here? There is an update here. Edit after seeing these questions asked a lot. She indicated that in a marriage, she wanted to work less. Right now, she works remotely doing paralegal work, but she has another job she does in person that allows her to do her paralegal stuff when there is downtime. I got the impression she would want to continue doing remote work, that her career was important to her. She also doesn't want to have kids or make any compromises affecting her career. Writing this out and reading her responses is helping me realize that I'm glad I'm no longer involved. Adding one more thing, I saw a lot of comments criticizing how I let her initiate the breakup. My rationale is that this was her issue. She felt strongly enough about this to lose me over it, so I let her. I felt it was important that I left her with no room for interpretation. If she regrets losing me, she has only herself to blame. Plus, it's not like I gain anything out of me doing it. Same result. Yeah, that is exactly what I was gonna say. So, this is a happy ending story, honestly. Even though you might think that this is a breakup and this is bad, but you didn't just dodge what do you call it? A 45 ACP. You dodged a 50 cal, which is like a miracle. If you had signed that paper, you're gone. And she also said that she doesn't want to have kids. And here's what I think. I could be wrong, but here's what I think. In the future, obviously, you're probably gonna want to have kids. Here's what she's gonna tell you. For every child, you're gonna have to pay me something, like a 2% extra. So if you have 5 children, you're gonna give her 10%, even more than the initial cut. Yeah, I'm glad you dodged that. Good for you, my brother. Take care. Look after yourself. Next time I'm not gonna bring water. I'm gonna bring orange juice, because water alone doesn't have any calories and it just doesn't give me energy.